Hi everyone, and welcome to Deadline Dilemmas. Pras, how you doing this week, my friend?
I'm all right, man. It's an early deadline tomorrow, Friday. So we are doing this at 10:30 p.m. on a Thursday. This is the hustle that we go through, and we waited for the Europa League games to finish to make sure Johnson made it okay, Solanke made it okay, Palmer didn't play, but everyone else made it okay. So no news actually before Champions League didn't really have much impact this week. So we got away
No,
with early
so
moves.
no European injuries, but there's still loads to discuss, Pras. How
There's a
was
lot to
uh
discuss.
how was your before we obviously talk about our dilemmas and upcoming game week?
Don't talk about last week.
I need to. I need to. How was just a quick one, just a little debrief. How was your game week? Just to
I
make
get
everyone
it.
else feel good because it
Now I
was
remember why you want to talk about it, because you have cells. I get it. I get it. Um, it was rubbish, man. What can I say? I didn't have cells. I had Edison. Apart from that, I think we were similar last week, weren't we?
yeah, yeah, very similar. Yeah.
So
Which is
congrats on your cells points. I'm
how
not
pain
jealous.
I was very happy with that, Praz. And it's very difficult to watch the last game of the game week when you're actually trying to cheer a goalkeeper. It's almost, kind of disheartening because any minute they could concede. But I was very fortunate. 11 points, of which it's still a poor week, but yeah, it was something because it was going to be even more, even more
It's
grim.
massive, man. It's massive.
But 11 points, yeah. And how are you feeling about the Edison? I know we discussed that last week a little bit. How are you feeling about Edison and Man City?
50% clean sheet odds this week. I mean, the next best we'll come to Rob T's chart is like 30% or 30, even less than 30. So I'm feeling good. One more week, we go again.
Fair, fair.
They seem to have no trouble keeping clean sheets in Europe, by the way. Ironically,
Yeah,
Edison doesn't play those, but come on, Edison is not at fault for all the
he's
goals.
not. He's not at fault.
It's not
Nah.
his fault.
Not at all. It was, to be fair to Manchester City, it was a very good goal by Wolves. The pass, the breakaway, and the finish. So yeah,
Absolutely,
he's not to
absolutely.
blame at all. So this week I've actually still got dilemmas. Present. We're going to go straight into my team because I've already made some moves.
Let's do
So
it.
let's do it. Let's bring up my team. So here you go. I'm
So
going to
what have you
start.
done?
So I'll tell you first of all the two transfers I've done. You can see Palmer's coming for Saka. So
Ooh,
Saka's gone.
you sold Solanke. No, you sold Havertz for Jimenez.
Yes, two Arsenal
Nice.
players gone. So I know, and I'll give you the thinking behind that, Press. Then you can let me know what you're thinking. Or
Well, actually, first read out your full team, I guess.
okay, yeah, true. So Sales, the superhero from Game Week 8, in goal versus Leicester. Then we've got Trent, Lewis, and Mikalenko currently starting. I'm not fixed on that one, Press. We can discuss that as well. I've got Gabriel on the bench. Okay, so that's the back four. Luis Diaz, Mbumo, Palmer, and Rogers. And the front three is Calvert Lewin, Haaland, and Raul Jimenez. And the bench is obviously the non-playing goalkeepers. Semenyo first bench, Gabriel second bench, and third bench of Greaves, who's obviously not going to play.
Yeah.
So that's the team. That's the two transfers. I've still got one more transfer prize. So originally coming into this game week, and I don't think I was just reacting to the poor game week. Me and you discussed last week, and I think even you was prompting me, why are you saving the transfers? And I said I wanted a bit more information, and I hinted at Foden's minutes, which I got right at the end. He did come on and still got the assist anyway, Praz, but the
Yeah,
minutes
yeah, yeah.
are very strange with Foden. And so I was waiting for this week, and the irony is here, Praz, I'm still not much clearer. I was clear on these two moves, but the third move was meant to be, believe it or not, Diaz to Foden, and that's the reason I've not gone yet. I'm still
Mm.
not sure. So my plan was to use all three transfers: Palmer to come in, and Raul to come in, and Diaz to go for Foden. The other two, I've gone. I'm confident I've gone for it. This one here, yet, I'm just scared that I'm jumping from a potential minutes risk Diaz to another one. So that's what's going through my mind, Prez, with this move.
Look, I think I think the other two moves completely good, right? I mean, Jimenez is in prime form. Fulham look good. Their fixtures are good
Yeah,
for the next four.
yeah,
So I think it's a decent move. Two cheap strikers. I think at some point, if you want to find money to upgrade one, maybe that becomes harder. But I think two cheap strikers may actually become template after game week 12. Like I was doing something thinking around structures, and it could be something that a lot of people move towards. So I don't hate it. And then, of course, Palmer is like the second highest, expected points this week. Probably the best vice captain this week. So you've got him early, and I've done the same, and when we'll come to my team. So I like that move. Look, Diaz to Foden is slightly harder, right? I mean, this week
Yeah,
Foden is great if he starts, which I think he will start. But I also thought last week he will start. Um, but I feel like he should start. The problem I have with Foden is next week. What happens if
yeah.
once if he plays the Carabao Cup again, then it'll be 3 games in a row, or if he misses this one, it's a problem that given this setup, I don't see where you will go with Foden.
Well,
Like, what will you do if he's a minutes risk next week?
that's the big problem I've got. You could argue I've got a decent bench. That why would you want someone that expensive like Foden, a marquee player, to become a bench player or come on for the last 10 minutes? He would come on anyway. So, and more frustratingly, Praz, if I'm totally honest with you, before the prices went up, I actually had to out another transfer. I could have went to Son. I've been priced out of it, Praz,
Ah, okay,
0.1. So
okay.
that was quite painful because I had a bit of a backup just in case, because I wanted another City attacker because the fixture's so good and the
Mm,
fixtures continue. And I know City have not been perfect yet, but I'm going to gamble on, like we're going to go to the charts later on, the projected goals for City. I want more. I want more of that
mm,
action. But yeah, that's the one I'm really stuck on at the moment. So the two transfers I made, I felt comfortable going a little bit earlier. I think some of the players were going to go down, some of these players were going to go up. I thought, you know what, I'm committing to it. I was a little uncomfortable getting rid of two Arsenal players because I know Arsenal. I'm not reacting just to the Bournemouth game. 'Cause the red card killed that as a for my FPL players, to be honest, Prez. But it was more the fixtures after. When we look, I'm
absolutely.
going to flick past Arsenal's next three. Okay, Liverpool, which is going to be a tricky game. I'm not saying Arsenal possibly still could win that, but then after that, Newcastle, who can be an awkward customer, and then it's Chelsea, who showed against
Hmm.
Liverpool how good they are. Now, I know Arsenal can win all three, Praz, but from my perspective, when I compared it to, for example, if I go back to my team, it was between four players I was always going to sell, Praz. It was between the two Liverpool boys and the two Arsenal. So three from those four. And I looked at it and I think I prefer keeping one of the Liverpool because Liverpool's fixtures after this weekend, I like still. I know
Yeah,
they're in the fixture list. They might not look as nice, but I think Brighton, the way they defend, is a good fixture for Liverpool. I think Aston Villa, I know they're solid, but I don't mind that. And then after that, you're back to is that Southampton.
I agree with you.
So,
No,
so
look,
that's
I think
that was my thinking, Press. Sorry, I was going to say that was my thinking with the sort of transfers in mind.
I hear you. The problem I have is just the minutes. Like, I don't disagree that the fixtures are good. The only thing I'm disagreeing with is, or not sure of, is minutes. Like, if Foden was starting every game, I hear you. But you're basically saying that I'm going to chance it and I hope that he starts 2 out of 3 or maybe even 3 out of 3. And
Yeah,
if that's the situation, fair enough. I mean, I think you can do that. But if you're hoping for all three, or if you're going to panic the week he's benched, that's going to be problematic. Because my problem with this is you're going to want Saka back, like you said, by game week 12. How will you fund? Where are you getting the money to do Foden up to Saka?
that's the problem now. It's either one of the strikers becomes a non-playing one,
Mm,
potentially. I think that could free up some money, or Trent potentially could. I don't want to lose Trent, but if I had to raise money, that's one avenue. Or the other one is, can't remember. I could easily revert Palmer back to. I know that's you don't want to do that because you'd want both
nah,
of them.
you're not
No,
selling Palmer now.
no, yeah, I'm not. I'm not selling Palmer now. For now, for him to come in, the only other option, Prez, and I've not thought about it too much detail, but believe it or not, there was one option. I'm almost scared to say it, but it was potentially to go without Haaland and have
Mm.
and stack up on the midfielders. That was a potential option. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I tried to do a quick little team to see how it looked, and it looks gorgeous. But then you realise you don't have Haaland, so yeah, that's the other potential option.
Could do that. I mean, some people will be selling Haaland next week. Like,
I
they
think
will be
so.
selling Haaland for a striker and then Rogers up to Salah. Like, that will be a popular move next week.
I think so as well, Praz. Yeah, I think you can get in basically, in theory, with no Haaland, we could go Salah, Palmer, and Saka. Like you literally can. After that, of course, you've got to play the gamble, picking the right captain. But
Yep.
yeah, so that's the thinking behind it at the moment. Maybe I should do more thinking of how I'm going to get back to soccer. But for now, I'm happy with the team. It's just where I've got one more decision to make, and it's with Luis Diaz. So last week I sat on here with you and I said to you, I think me and you were both confident that Diaz's minutes were good, but
Yeah.
it turned
That
out
was a
that
pain, man, that he didn't start.
that really surprised me, Praz. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was to do with the last time we came back from international break, we lost to Nottingham Forest. And I think I'm not saying he's put it down to just Diaz and McAllister being tired, but it wasn't a coincidence that both of them were on the bench. And McAllister's key as well. He's like one of the starters. So yeah, maybe he did listen and think and thought, I'm not going to risk the players after that long trip.
Yeah. But what did you make of him also then missing Europe?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's thrown me off a little bit. I'm actually now I'm almost thinking, Prez, he's a certainty for Arsenal. That's what this is making. But then I can't say that. After last week, I got that.
I
I
think
got the
so as well.
last 2 weeks wrong with these minutes.
Hmm.
What are you thinking at the moment, Prez? What are you thinking with Diaz?
I mean, I've sold Diaz. Like, I didn't want to get into this game of
You
guessing
don't want
minutes.
okay.
So I have basically decided to sell him for Palmer. So I went a different route. I kept Solanke, which was my transfer last week for Havertz, and I've sold Trent. That was the sacrifice that I've made this week. But I will come to my team. But basically, first let's finish yours, and I want to talk two things. So let's say you go
Yeah.
for Foden
Yes.
or you don't. Is that the only choice, or is there another third transfer that you're thinking of?
I've not. You know what? Bad planning caught me up because, as I said, my original one was if I didn't go Foden and I was a bit too worried of his minutes, I would go with Son. I've lost that option press. So now I haven't got a backup, if I'm honest with you. I could go, you know what? I could go. I could go Brennan Johnson, who's cheaper, leaves money in my bank, which I know you shouldn't care about how much money you got in your bank or not. Pick the best players for the upcoming game weeks. And he's a good entry point to the Spurs attack. His minutes were solid. I know he didn't return in the West Ham fixture. I know, but that was unfortunate. Similar to what's his
Agreed.
name, Solanke. You know, they thrashed West Ham, and so I got away with that actually, not owning any Spurs. But so I could go Brendan Johnson, Press. That's the maybe other option. I can't think of anything else. I'm not sure.
That's where I was going. That if you're not confident on Foden as much, then might as well punt on Brennan Johnson, because then you're not focusing your funds too much, and
Yeah,
then later you can think about some other transfer like that. You gives you a little bit more flexibility. Like maybe you decide
yeah.
that later you want sells to Raya, and that's your double Arsenal, and then you're done, and you want to keep Brendan. Like there's options that open up when you free up funds rather than when you do Foden. How much will you have in the bank?
Let's check.
Like
Let me see.
0.6, right? Because you
Yeah,
couldn't
because
afford Son.
I've got 0.2 million in the bank. Yeah, so
Yeah. So okay. So you're out of Son anyway. Uh,
yeah, I'm out of Son,
that
isn't
could
it?
be an
Yeah,
option. You could also just leave it, man. If you're confident that Diaz starts, then why like use another transfer for a player that you're not 100% sure on? But I get it. The temptation to go Foden is high. I get it. But then you have temptation to go for Johnson or Son when they play Ipswich at home in 2 weeks as well. Like the
that's
temptation never ends.
it. Never does, and you can't chase
Yeah.
all of them, Praz. I know that, but I think the reason this one is so appetizing, this is the type of game where you don't get them often, but City could score 5 here, Praz. I mean, it's not unrealistic. I don't think we're exaggerating here. They honestly, they turn up. I know we've not seen as much of it in this city, but if they do turn up and they get an early goal, they really could punish Southampton. And you think to yourself, if Foden's on the pitch, surely there's at least 1 or 2 attacking returns for us. But I don't know. I am stuck on this one. So this is an actual dilemma, Praz. I need to get.
Speaking of City could score 5 goals, have you considered triple captaincy?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. Part of me, the battle I've got in my head, Praz. I'm always thinking about doing a double game week, like we all do. But we know this season there's a lack of double game weeks, and we've still got so many chips, and we've got the unknown mystery chip.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not I would say I'm 50-50, Praz, maybe with that decision. I still could go for it. Could take one more
Go
piece
to
of
Rob C's
information.
chart. Go to Rob
Let's
C's
go.
chart.
Which one we've got? Which one? Which one?
This one.
Oh,
This one.
oh God, yeah.
1.36 expected goals.
I know.
Now, people will say there's no KDB. The markets who are pricing him also know that there's no
They
KDB.
know.
This is 1.36, knowing there is no KDB. If you look at the next slide, it compares Haaland versus all the other games that he's had so far.
Wow.
It's as much, actually, it's a little higher now, if I remember correctly. But anyway, um, it basically shows that this slide doesn't look right, does it?
I'm
Oh,
sure
this is
this
just
is
Man City. Oh, this is just Man City. There was
this is
another
just
one
Man
with
City's ones. Basically, this is his projections of it's the most projected goals for him
yes.
this season. So look at it.
There's
It's even
another one
more.
which is basically that is even more than Ipswich. There was another slide, I think, which it's fine. I forgot to send it to you.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so, but the point is, his expected goals of 1.36 are more than even what he had against Ipswich.
Yeah.
Yes, that was with KDB, or I get all of
Yes.
that, but Southampton are way poorer than what we thought Ipswich were in game week 2.
Yeah. I agree.
They are completely on the ropes. So I'm quite tempted, man.
Where are you percentage wise on that, Prince?
80%.
Oh wow, okay, so you're further than me. I'm thinking it as well. I don't want to reach the second half of the season where I'm reaching to try and desperate to find one when we've got something here. Like you said, statistics, the projections show it's there for us. I know we missed the first one. A lot of people went on Ipswich one and we missed out on that, but I don't want to miss out on this. I'm 50-50. Part of me still thinks that I can get the triple captain in another double game week, but
But
I'd
how?
have
There's
to.
only two
How,
double game weeks.
that's what I mean. I'd have to use one of the bench boosts or one of the other chips,
But
basically.
bench boost is usually expected points of about 15 to 20.
Yeah,
Triple captain is usually 10 to 15. Why
yeah,
would you use a chip that has more expected points in a single game week compared to one? So bench boost gives you 4 extra players, right?
yeah.
Triple captain gives you 1 extra player. Obviously, triple captain gives you one of your best players.
Your
Bench
best
boost gives you
players,
four
yeah.
of your worst players. So ultimately, it's not that far. But there's also risk with triple captaincy, right? Your player could get injured in the first game.
Yeah,
So I just feel that in bench boost over the years, you do score 15 to 20 points regardless. In triple captain, many years you score 5, 8. Some years you
yeah,
go 15, 20. Salah scored 26. So there are years, but I think overall, if you also have to account for the fact that bench boost, I think bench boost has to be played in a double game week. Some people might disagree. And I think, can you tell me one mystery chip idea that isn't better played in a double game week? Whether it's point for recoveries, whether it is two captains, whether it is players from Man City score double points or anything,
yeah. You're right. Yeah,
it is better played in a
it
double
would
game
be
week
better.
as well.
Yeah, yeah. You're
So
talking me into it now.
all of that basically means at some point people will come to the conclusion that triple captain needs to be played in a single game week. The only there's two cons that are for playing triple captaincy this week. Number one is basically that you know you never know Haaland's minutes. Like, he played 80 minutes midweek. They have Spurs, even though Pep has said he will rotate, but I think Haaland will start against Spurs. Like, who else will he start?
Yeah,
So, could you see a 65th, 70th minute sub? Maybe. Like, maybe. So, that's one little con. And the second con is you could just wait till January, find out what the mystery chip is, and then triple captain Palmer home to Southampton, or Palmer home to Ipswich, or Salah home to Ipswich. All those options also exist.
yeah. That's my normal get out. What I tend to do, I've used triple captain many times, Praz, on a single game week. I've done it a couple of times at the last game week of the season, where there tends to be. I know it's a long shot here, but I try to predict the game. There's always one silly game and I go for it. I think I've done it once with Mane. I think he scored 2 and a couple of other games. Sometimes it fails miserably, but yeah, I'm not definitely not scared of using it in a single game week. That's why I am considering this week, Braz. Yeah, I'm not as far as you. I was like 50-50. Maybe it's just like having it in your pocket, which isn't the sensible way to think about it. Maybe that is in my mind, or just having it is almost,
That's a
but
psychological thing where we try
it
to
is.
hold chips and to
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
make ourselves feel better. Because what you don't want is it fails. Let's say he's on the bench, right? You've played your triple captain, he's on the bench, you
Yeah.
get 1 point, and then you think, oh, season is over. To be honest, triple captain is the least upside week of
Yeah.
all the chips that we have left. So
It's the least upside prize, but it always seems to be the most exciting. I don't know about you. I don't know. Maybe that's just in my head. It seems like I make it bigger in my head, but the way you explained it a minute ago is the truth. It's not even like arguably the best like chip, but I do in my head. I look at Troop Captains maybe one of the best chips. It's crazy. Yeah, I should bring it down a couple of tiers.
it may be best for you for fun, but it's not the best for expected points. Like
Yeah,
there's so
that's the
many
point. Yeah,
occasions of triple captaincy being spunked. Like it's just not that ideal.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm in total agreement with you. It's happened to me a couple of times where I've used it and the players got either injured or something's happened. Yeah, but at the moment, yeah, talking to you has made me go up a couple of percentage. Maybe I'm 60%.
I'll sleep on
Maybe
it as well. Look, I'm not confirmed, but I'm just saying I'm very tempted. I have to be honest. I was like I slept at 60% even for the Ipswich game, and I ended up bottling it. So I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I'm saying there's a very, very compelling reason to do it.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally. Let me go back to my team because there's another dilemma I want to speak to you about. So we've spoken about the triple captain, the Diaz potential transfer, and the other one was, what do you think of Gabriel, the benching order, Praz? Because I wanted to discuss that with you because I've played Mikalenko. I know he got kept a clean sheet last week, but we know Everton have been struggling this season. Gabriel
Let's go
at
to the clean
home,
sheet odds. Let's look at clean sheet odds. So Arsenal are at 27%, Everton are
yeah,
at 24%. Gabriel.
yeah. I was thinking that maybe I've got the bias though, Praz, being a Liverpool fan. I'm assuming we're going to score no matter what. But the reality is, when Arsenal, I said last week when hilariously I said they're going to keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth, but when they turn up, maybe in the big games, surely this one they're capable of doing. It's going to be a low scoring game.
But look, 27% is not high. It means they're much more likely to concede than not. But what I'm trying to say is Everton are also rubbish and Fulham are also not a bad team.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, you've just got him in as hoping that he scores, no? So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's almost playing what it is. I'm kind of this week. I've got a couple of players, Praz, that play each other. So if I kept Diaz, for example, he would play against. So it's not ideal situation, but it
yeah, but
happens in
it's okay.
FPL.
I
Not
mean, I would personally just, with these things with benching, I usually take the unbiased friend opinion, which is basically market odds. Market odds are telling you that there's a slightly better chance for Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. They're a good team. And Gabriel, is a threat from corners. Now, Mikalenko also has attacking threat,
yeah, yeah.
but, like Fulham are a good side, man. Like, it's not like it's a guaranteed clean sheet for Everton versus Arsenal who are
No,
playing Liverpool.
no.
They're lower clean sheet odds than Arsenal. I would play Gabriel.
I was, I was, I wasn't sure on that one. It's another decision I was sleeping on. I think normally my rule is even if it's a tricky game, I tend to go for the better player, the better team. Like if it's that close, like you said, and it is Everton versus Fulham, and Fulham's attack is very good this season. I was looking at some of the statistics before I bought in Raul Jimenez to double check it's not almost. He's basically hitting every shot, one shot he takes, present scores. No, their stats are very good. I was very impressed with them. Yeah, very good. But yeah, so that was the last decision I had in my team. So more than likely, I will revert it back. Yeah. But apart from that, that was all my dilemmas there. You might still see me come deadline, Praz, with triple captain activated and folding in the team. So don't be shocked, okay?
That
You
would be
might see
quite a flex, man. That would be a
that.
sexy thing.
It would, wouldn't it? If Foden starts, it's yeah, it's a gorgeous, yeah.
Like having 4 attackers home to Southampton, like 3 Haalands and 1 Foden. It's pretty good.
Exactly. And Praz, what do you think of? Would you even consider this as well? I know you've got rid of Diaz, so to eliminate the headache, would you play Semenyo ahead of Diaz this week, just in case? And you have one more week thinking. You know Semenyo starts, excellent player. Even against Arsenal, he should have scored. He was a
Yeah.
bit rash in the finishing. Would you consider playing him, and then you've got another week's thinking and 2 transfers again, or no?
If you're getting news that Diaz isn't starting and you play Semenyo, fair enough. I don't think it's a bad fixture. Like you're right. He could have scored against Arsenal. He should have,
Yeah,
in fact,
he
scored
should have.
against Arsenal.
Yeah,
He had.
yeah,
So he's a good pick, especially this week. But away to Villa, like it's going to be probably one goal that they score. It's just low odds. Like go for the upside. Go Johnson then if you want to, or go Foden. Like I would make the third transfer. It just feels a little passive otherwise, unless you have 2 moves next week that you think can get you that upside. Like 2 moves like Semenyo down and then
oh
getting
yeah,
Son instead, something like that. That would
yeah.
then mean maybe hold is the better view. It really depends on, are you going to be tempted? Because if you go down Foden route, you're basically saying goodbye to Spurs.
Yeah, that's exactly that. All the money's gone. Where if I go Brennan Johnson or play Semenyo and keep the transfers, I've opened
You're
up 2
leaving all
avenues. I
options
could
there.
exactly that. Then when, like you said, when the Ipswich fixture turns up, I've not got the jealousy. I'm going to have at least one attacker. So maybe that's something I need to sleep on as well. Either Brennan Johnson this week. It's not as exciting as Foden though, but yeah. But that's my team. Go on, Press.
No, I was just going to say, let's go to my team if you want, and a quick word from the sponsors before we do.
Hello everyone, sorry for interrupting the video, but you're going to want to stay for this because I've got to tell you about Fan Team's Unlimited Big Pick 6 Game Week 9 competition this Sunday. There's a £10,000 prize pool. What it is basically is they've picked 4 games on this Sunday coming up. So West Ham, Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Spurs, Arsenal versus Liverpool. You need to pick 6 players from that team who you think are gonna score the most points, right? Fantasy points. £10,000 prize pool. Now, 2 things to say. 1, if you've never joined Fan Team, you can sign up today and you will get a free entry into this competition. Still a £10,000 prize pool, no deposit required. Sign up, free entry. If you are a member of Fan Team or you've played Fan Team before, you know it is Fantasy Unchained. It is fantasy on steroids, and it's only £2 to enter this competition. £10,000 prize pool. So you can pick, I don't know, look at Cole Palmer against Newcastle. I'm a Newcastle fan, so I'm hoping he's going to blank. But anyway, Crystal Palace, they're on a bad run, so maybe you go with Heung-min Son. Arsenal are playing Liverpool, tight game. Who's going to win that? Really, really good competition. Get involved. The link is in the description below. Over 18s only, please gamble responsibly. But if you've been, if you've done Fan Team before, you know how good it is, you know how good it can be. And if you never have, again, just to reiterate, a free entry on us. Click the description below, no deposit required, £10,000 prize pool. So a few grand could be yours this Sunday. Get involved.
Right. So reading out my team, I've got Edison in goal. I've got Gabriel, Pinnock, and Rico Lewis. So double City defense. We go again. I've got Boomo, Rogers, Saka, and Palmer, Calvert-Lewin, Solanke, Haaland. So I did, as I mentioned, Trent to 8 Nuri, and I did Diaz up to Palmer. So I have kept Saka because I'm of the view that this is the structure that I want. I want Haaland, Saka, Palmer by game week 12. But I have another free transfer. So much like you, except that my option isn't Foden, it's Son. I could look to do Saka to Son, which is basically my third transfer. And honestly, I'm minded to do it more than not because I don't want to be burnt again by by Pep's, what is it called? Disciple. He's basically mini Pep, Arteta.
Yeah.
And so unless I see him in training or there's somebody who leaks again that he should be fine for Liverpool, I'm just gonna get Son because I think Son is good for this week where their goal scoring odds are like 0.5 more than Arsenal anyway. Then next week they're home to Villa, which is I think a great fixture for Son. Then the week after they're home to Ipswich, which is a great fixture for Son. And then I turn him back to Saka. Basically, my only 2 moves that I would ideally that I have to make by game week 12 is basically get Son back to Saka and Edison up to Raya, which I can do as things stand right now. In an ideal world, I would have liked to get Solanke out to a cheap striker and Pinnock up to Trent by game week 12 as well. For that, I need 4 transfers. So this is why I'm thinking maybe if Saka's okay, maybe I can hold him as well.
I like it. I like the team, Praz. I was thinking we would have been similar if I had the money, I reckon, for Son and say you get rid of Saka. I think we would have synced a little bit. The only differences would be my Trent versus your Solanke, I think.
Solanke.
Yeah, it would have been the differences, I suppose. But the team's good. Saka's one's going to be difficult because with Arteta, you're not quite sure. So I'm not even sure you're just going to make your mind up with the information you have tomorrow, Praz. Yeah.
I'll sleep on it and then I'll see what I want to do. If I see Saka training anywhere, any photo, anything, I'll do it. I'll keep him. I love
You'll
Saka.
keep him.
Yeah.
You rate him that highly, yeah? Even with these fixtures here, Praz, yeah? You're comfortable with Saka. He's one of the... You look at him as a fixture-proof player.
No, but you have to look at this week and you have to say that this week it's Liverpool home versus Crystal Palace away for Son. So it's not too different. Next week and the week after, yes, there is a difference. Newcastle away, Chelsea away, but they're not red fixtures. They're grey. Newcastle, Chelsea are not elite defenses. So
no,
my point is from game week 12 onwards, I 100% need him. So that's basically my point, that I don't want to lose the option and not get Saka when I think it's a prime fixture. And then remember, Spurs play Man City in 12 away. I don't want Solanke and Son both for that fixture. So if I have Son, I will have to move him back to
To move
Saka
him
by game
back.
week 12 anyway.
Yeah. And Solanke, you're planning to keep him for that length, to keep him out throughout.
I could sell him for Trent in game week 12 if I have enough
Okay.
transfers.
Yeah.
So I could do Solanke down to cheap striker and then Pinnock up to Trent. That would be my ideal setup in game week 12 is basically to have Trent, triple Arsenal, Palmer, Haaland. That would be the core of the team.
Yeah. That's basically where I'm at. I didn't want to lose Trent. I thought if the prices didn't go up, I would have been able to have the Son. I would have had all the cover basically I wanted. Unfortunately, it didn't go down that route. But yeah, you never know. It might work out for me. But I do like the team, Pras. Yeah, it's in a strong position. It must have been difficult to get rid of Trent, of course, like we're talking about him. But he's another player you're going to have to bring back in. You've seen Liverpool. Have you been impressed with how defensively strong Liverpool are this season?
You guys are good, man. You guys are
Yeah.
good. But look, I mean, I think a word on Trent, like if you go back to the fixtures, like
Yeah.
yes, 12 is very tempting for him because he plays
Yes.
Southampton away, but then he's again playing Man City and Newcastle away. So I
Yeah.
can also delay getting Trent in until 15. So it's not like desperately I need to, because look at Solanke, right? Solanke plays Fulham at home and Bournemouth away in 13-14. So I can also delay that
You
Solanke to
can.
Trent
Yeah.
move until 15. I can potentially bench Solanke even away to Man City because remember, I have Rogers and I have Semenyo. Who does Semenyo play in 12? Brighton at home. Who does Rogers play in 12? It's Crystal Palace at home. So I can just play those two guys and bench Solanke. That would be the plan.
What
That
made
actually
you
makes me
consider?
think I can do Saka to Son, to be honest.
I was going to say, what made you consider that Praz going so early on Palmer? I know I've done it as well, and I'll tell you my reasons. Because a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but we could have waited until game week 12, couldn't we? Where the fixtures
Yeah, but
become.
fixtures this week. Newcastle home, he's the second highest goal scoring odds. If you look
Yeah.
at that Haaland slide, he's
Yeah.
the second
Yeah.
highest. Man United still have their manager, and this is basically what I thought. If Ten Hag is still there, we're losing home to Chelsea. Last year
Yeah,
he
I
scored a
agree.
hat trick against Man United.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are not tough fixtures. The only tough fixture is home to Arsenal, where he is home. So the question was, do I want to lose another 0.2, 0.3 on him and delay getting him in to get Son now? No, man. Like he's gonna be the guy, the premium that everybody will have from 12. Just get him a little bit earlier, is the thinking.
So where are you then? Where are you? I've not heard you mention once, which is quite and strange for me as well. Is Salah not figuring in your plans, Praz, in immediate plans?
Not really. Like
No.
he could in there is a world in which next week you do Haaland down to some striker like Cunha
Yeah.
and you go Rogers up to Salah. You could do that. But that
Oh.
feels to me like very short term because it's only for game week 10 where Salah is
Yeah.
actually the ideal captain. But then Haaland is not too bad away to Bournemouth. Like I don't think it's such a big issue if you had to captain Haaland away to Bournemouth.
No.
So just for that 1 week, I don't think Salah is needed in my team. Like you just can't have them all, right? More like
But not just in that way though, Praz. I was thinking, like we discussed earlier, if you went Solanke to say a cheap striker, does that
so
free
I'm
up
not selling
enough money?
Solanke before Ipswich at home.
Okay, but yeah, okay, all right. So you can't go there yet. But I was thinking in the long run, because then you could have basically Salah and one of either Saka or Palmer instead. And
But not
surely
Trent.
Salah's going to be better than both of them in the long.
But not
Oh yeah,
Trent.
yeah.
I would rather have Trent and Saka than Salah long term.
Yeah, I'm well, obviously my team tells you I'm in agreement with you, Press. Same thing. I made sure Trent is a priority for me. I know with Slot, I've noticed that, and you've mostly noticed watching, that he will change Trent's positions depending on the opponents, which is a good thing because it makes us better defensively. But we saw against Chelsea, it was his first game where he had 0 XG, which is very under Klopp. We'd never ever see that. He doesn't care who he's playing, Praz. So that's something a bit different this time we have to possibly consider. When he plays the top teams, he'll keep he'll put Trent, a calmer version of Trent out there.
Right.
But
Did you read this news that Trent has been carrying something from England recently?
No, I heard something about it, but I didn't see it. Was it in the Athletic or something? I didn't see it on anything.
One of your Anfield rap or Anfield, one of those guys basically said that, it's one of the reasons why he's playing a little bit more withdrawn because he's been carrying something since the England duty. Of course, he will play this game. Like there's no scaremongering I'm trying to do.
No,
But
not at all.
basically just one to watch. Like with Liverpool, I know that they're a good defensive unit.
Yeah.
But Salah, I'm not so sold. Like, it's been 2 penalties in the last 3-4 games, right? He's an assist machine. He's getting a lot of great assists. He's a
Yeah.
great player. I'm not doubting him. But he's competing against 3 other very good premiums as well: Saka, Palmer, and Haaland. So
It's that
and in
extra
my
2 million
case-
as well, Pras. That extra 2 million, isn't it?
extra
When you
2
think
million, but then
yeah,
less compared to Haaland. Depends how you're thinking about it. So
yeah.
for me, Saka and Palmer will definitely be there by game week 12. It is a question of whether it's Haaland or Salah by game week 12.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it did burn me a little bit to get rid of Saka. I really do like him as an FPL asset, even with Havertz as well. Havertz. One thing I've started to think about is how much minutes that guy's get. He's become Arteta's like golden child. Press. He plays every minute of every game. He's a machine. So I was reluctant to get rid of him, but it had to be done this game week. But overall, yeah, I like your team. What about Ben? You know, you've got 8 Nori, so who's going to start dropping out? I suppose Pinnock once the Wolves' fixtures from next week. You can. When are you going to play him, Press? 8 Nori.
Next week.
Yeah,
Home to
from
Crystal
next week.
Palace.
Yeah, straight into
Yeah,
it.
he's going to play Crystal Palace at home. He's going to play Southampton at home. I will see if he plays Fulham away. I might play Pinnock away to Everton. Then Bournemouth away, he'll play. Everton away, he'll play. Like, those top 2 guys are my 2 defenders, right?
Yeah.
So I'll probably play one of them. And basically, in some weeks, both of them, if Rico Lewis misses out, right? So that was the idea. I wanted not a rotation. I want 2 good defenders that I can play every week.
Yeah. And Rodgers, he's been a revelation for us. Surely he's the bargain of the season, Praz.
I mean, so far he's been great. FPL output, not so much. I mean, it's getting there.
I was about to say, it looks like he's warming up now, Praz.
But
looks
minutes
like
for a Villa type team, like playing every game, gold dust. I think he's a great player. But look, if you look at total FPL points, he's probably the same as some of the other 5 million mids like Traore, or even this guy, what is his name, Buonanotte. Like, there's other players. But minutes for Villa, he's the best pick. Like, as in that price bracket.
And Villa predicted to score near 2 goals this week, and hopefully he's got the minutes. I mean, he's stacking them up. He's playing midweek as well, so
he's an easy pick.
So then you're not sure then, Praz. So you're similar. So by tomorrow, either one transfer or you're going to hold and have 2 next week.
Correct. So tomorrow I'm 80-20 on triple captaincy and 60-40 in Saka to Son.
Yeah.
We'll see what side of the bed I wake up on.
Yeah, I think we're in a similar scenario there, Praz. I think that's all of our dilemmas there, isn't it, Praz? I think when I think about it, there's nothing else for us to...
No, not really. I mean, I think we've talked about what we had to cover, and next week is going to be pivotal. You'll see a lot of people selling Haaland, and I'm excited that
What you want to that
I want
shake up
Haaland lowly owned.
I mean, what if he blanks this game week, Praz? We're getting to unknown territory here. Would that be 4th or 5th in a row?
4th in a row. Not in all competitions, obviously, because he got the brace last night. We'll see. We'll still keep him, maybe.
All right. Well, no worries. We were. It was a good one this week. A lot of dilemmas for both of us, and we will end it on that note, Praz.
Excellent, man. Good talking to you. Good luck to you all. Like and subscribe if you can, the FF Scout channel. There's a lot of good videos, burning questions with my man Sonaldo and Harry. There's obviously Scoutcast with my man Hibo, Andy, and Nacho. So, and there's a lot of other good content as well with General, with Az and Sam. So do check it out and subscribe.
Perfect. So on that note, wish you good luck and see you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.